In the South Korean broadcasting industry, the Friday and Saturday night time slots are known as a fierce battlefield without gunfire, where the most intense war for viewership ratings takes place. Broadcasting networks stake their lives on this time slot, deploying their so-called tentpole projects, which boast the highest production budgets and meticulous planning, to capture the attention of viewers relaxing in front of their TVs after a tiring week. The ambitious new card SBS has drawn to seize supremacy in this fiercely competitive Friday-Saturday drama market is the new series Shin Law Firm. With immense attention from both the public and critics, there is a lot of buzz about whether this production, which garnered attention for its star-studded cast and unique premise even before its premiere, can claim the throne of weekend dramas. The reason this new release strongly stimulates viewers' interest is that the central subject matter led by the main character, Yeon Seok, is highly unusual and refreshing. The fact that the protagonist is a lawyer who represents wrongfully accused clients and engages in fierce logical battles in the courtroom faithfully follows the success formula of existing hit legal dramas. Legal dramas, which guarantee a solid narrative and emotional catharsis, are generally known as a safe genre that rarely fails. However, Shin Law Firm boldly combines this with an occult and fantasy element, the ability to see and communicate with ghosts. By doing so, it breaks through the limitations of the legal genre, which can easily become predictable, and heralds a completely new dimension of entertainment. Above all, the most powerful viewing point of this drama is the perfect acting transformation of actor Seok, who plays the ghost-seeing lawyer Shin Irang. The image of Yeon Seok deeply imprinted in the public's mind has mainly been that of an intellectual, serious, and weighty elite shown in medical dramas or serious plays, or the standard of a sweet and gentle devoted lover who shakes women's hearts in the romance genre. Although he has digested a wide spectrum of roles, from a chilling villain to a warm-hearted hero, he has rarely brought such a comical and dynamic character, one who is not afraid to ruin his image, to the forefront. Thus, his new challenge comes as a very refreshing shock to the viewers. Perfectly assimilated into the delightful and comical tone and manner deeply laid throughout the play, Yeon Seok skillfully showcases a sly and brazen comedic acting that he has never shown before. His highly elevated tension and humorous gestures, which instantly disarm the heavy tension of serious court battles, breathe tremendous vitality into the drama. What is even more interesting is that the protagonist Shin Irang's ability does not stop at the one-dimensional level of seeing the shapes of vengeful spirits with his naked eye and hearing their voices. He freely commands an extreme and dangerous ability called possession, directly accepting the souls of ghosts holding unfair stories into his own body, thereby shaking up the dynamics of the play. The moment an unfamiliar ghost possesses Shin Irang's body, his personality and behavior undergo a dramatic transformation into a form that perfectly matches the ghost's disposition while they were alive. Because he has to suddenly change into a 180-degree different person depending on which soul enters his body, this serves as the perfect stage to fully enjoy the diverse acting skills of actor Yeon Seok. In particular, in the first episode that opens the series, he is depicted being possessed by a restless, frivolous ghost who uses a thick, savory dialect and cannot stay still for a moment, turning the living rooms of viewers into a sea of laughter. His inherently human and playful nature, which he occasionally showed on variety shows, perfectly melts into the drama character, creating massive synergy. Unlike his spectacular abilities, Shin Irang's situation in reality is so desperate and pitiful that it brings tears to the eyes. He tried to run on the road to success by getting a job at a decent large law firm after painstakingly acquiring his law license, but he continuously drinks the bitter cup of defeat at the threshold of employment due to an unsavory incident from his past that stubbornly holds him back. Feeling like grasping at straws, he enters the interview room of a large law firm where the cold-hearted elite lawyer Han Na-hyun, passionately played by actress Esom, works. However, Han Na-hyun just glances at his resume and coldly notifies him of his rejection on the spot, without asking Shin Irang a single question. Overcome by extreme anger and stubbornness at Han Na-hyun's insulting treatment, Shin Irang commits an irreversible, massive accident in a fit of rage. Despite not being in a comfortable financial situation, he secretly siphons off a portion of the precious lease deposit his mother had dedicated her entire life to saving, and abruptly opens his own private law office. The cheap office he barely managed to find due to his tight financial situation turns out to be a gloomy space with a lot of history, formerly used as a shrine by a shaman with strong spiritual energy. Although it cannot be scientifically explained, it is presumed that due to the intense energy exuded by the site of shamanistic faith, Shin Irang's spiritual senses awakened, abruptly granting him the ability to see and converse with ghosts. From the perspective of wrongfully accused vengeful spirits who wandered between this world and the afterlife, unable to voice their grievances, the existence of Shin Irang, who can hear their unfairness and legally represent them, is nothing short of a lifesaver. In fact, the premise itself of a ghost possessing a living person's body to solve unresolved cases is a relatively common cliché frequently borrowed in various existing fantasy genres. However, this drama heightens the narrative tension by placing clever restrictions on that common premise. It establishes a rule that ghosts cannot take over Shin Irang's body. At will possession can only occur in specific situations where a ghost has been unjustly killed or trampled by the world's injustice, causing an extremely intense resentment and anger to explode. The moment the threshold of unfairness is breached and possession takes place, the ego originally held by Shin Irang is thoroughly pushed aside, and the new ego and personality of the ghost perfectly fill that space, creating unpredictable and unexpected situations. The first client to trigger Shin Irang's amazing ability is the soul of Lee Kong-pung, played with an overwhelming presence by actor Heo Sung-tae. Even though Lee Kong-pung lost his life due to a clear medical malpractice by a doctor, he is a vengeful spirit unjustly wandering the afterlife with the truth of his death concealed, pushed aside by the logic of massive power. Despairing because he could not find a way to let the world know about his unjust death, Lee Kong-pung miraculously discovers Shin Irang, who can make eye contact with him and hear his voice, and desperately reaches out for help. But as luck would have it, an exciting confrontation is set up when it is revealed that the ace-opposing lawyer defending the side that covered up Lee Kang-pung's unjust death is none other than Han Na-hyun, who had ruthlessly trampled Shin Irang in the interview room in the past. Han Na-hyun, who had been charging forward without blood or tears solely for the sake of winning lawsuits, gradually begins to lose her pace as she gets entangled in cases with Shin Irang, whose true intentions are impossible to read and who constantly engages in behavior that defies common sense, leading them to unexpectedly exchange help. The drama rapidly depicts the process of wrongfully accused souls who cannot be saved by the laws of this world, asking lawyer Shin Irang for help and launching a thrilling counterattack against corrupt forces. By exquisitely blending delightful comedic elements within the framework of a potentially heavy legal thriller, it has been born as an attractive piece of entertainment that weekend night viewers can watch while laughing out loud without feeling burdened. In particular, thanks to the passionate, unsparing comedic performance of Yeon Seok, who leads the play, the drama recorded a very respectable viewership rating of 6.3% from its first broadcast, signaling a pleasant start. The chemistry between the actors is already receiving favorable reviews, and the anticipation is high for the synergy that will be created as the unpredictable and chaotic investigations unfold. If you are looking for a satisfying drama that offers both the intellectual pleasure of a courtroom battle and the refreshing catharsis of a supernatural fantasy, Shin Irang Law Firm is undoubtedly a perfect choice for your weekend viewing.